So I want to continue talking about acceptance. I think I would like to think one of the perks of being married to me is we get to have conversations all the time.
That's true.
So I will start working on a topic well before we ever actually share it with anybody else. So
Right.
it grows and morphs and becomes everything that it's going to be.
Well, and the topics kind of shape our household too. The like cultivating peace. Everybody was like doing everything they could around here, just like to find their calm. We had some shaky
I was
things
going to
going
say,
on while we were
why?
filming that.
Tell
Well,
me more.
the whole house went down with the flu.
Oh, can I
You
tell
know?
you? Can I tell you the truth on that? I was mad that the flu came to our house and leveled it.
I understand that.
I was mad, and um, that was a very, inconvenient thing to happen.
Yeah.
But it's funny how but yes, exactly. We're working on peace. Guess what happens? Opportunities to work on the peace show up. So, and we know that. The good thing about, I think, life now, being, having more experience under your belt and being wiser, is that you start to identify things as being more of a lesson. Or this is, I think, part of the work too. It's that the way that I'm trying to accept the situation, so acceptance, the way I'm accepting the situation for what it is and not for the way it feels. And so what it was we got the flu, or all four boys.
Yes.
And I was the only one standing. So got the flu. That's what it was. Was it a personal attack sent to take me down? No.
Yeah.
Did it feel like that? Yes. Did it
Yeah.
feel like that, what had I done,
Where's the
to
karma
let this
whiplash
in?
that's
Where
happening?
what does not have my attention to where this thing snuck in and got us again? Because it's
Yeah.
not just the first round, it's the second round. So, you know, and it's tough. So we have babies, they're a year old. We have now 6-year-olds. We have you and me. And when 4 out of the 5 go down, the one standing is like, what am I gonna do? And that was really tough, but I had to accept that situation. And within that situation, because it was very stressful, it could have been actually really stressful, but since I was so deep in the peace work, I my process was very clear of what to do, and I knew pretty clearly that I was towing the line of, I can do what I need to do and keep it moving, and understand that I am a human and I am tired and I am, doing the best I can, and continue to give myself excessive amounts of grace and patience for myself and how I'm handling things, including how now I have an extra workload and whatever, just all of it, just taking it just with a grain of grace or a boatload of grace.
No, there's a boatload. Yeah, a lot more than grain.
So I was able to try my best to, again, toe that line, because I felt like if I stepped over that and started complaining, it started spiraling into this isn't fair, this
Why
sucks,
me?
this,
Why me?
yeah, right, why us again? So
Yeah.
had I done that,
What did we
I
do?
think I would have gotten really sick. So
Yeah.
I started to do that, right?
Really? I
Yeah,
didn't know that.
I did. I wanted to shut it up real quick, so I didn't want you to see it. But again, I started getting mad. Remember, so Julian got sick first, and then I called the doctor's office, and so we could get the Tamiflu. And the way that they treated us, our doctor's office was like, "Oh yeah, we'll try to get to that tomorrow." And I was like, "I could have the flu by tomorrow," but It's just how it felt, and I was so mad. Like, they don't care about us, you know. I
You know
felt
when
like
my anger hit?
I know. Hang on, let me finish mine.
Oh.
So I'm like, you know, I got so mad at them that they didn't care, and I started to let go of my own peace, right? And so when you let go of peace, what happens? You then open yourself up. You're susceptible to things to, you know, come and take down your immune system and make you weak, which I know that from personal experience. And this was no different of a situation. And boom, all of a sudden, I'm like, dang, now I'm feeling funny. Now something's in me, you know.
Got that little
I got
tickle.
that little thing going on where you're like, man, I know something's trying to test me. And so I realized quickly, I was like, oh, clean it up. Don't even go there, because then you're going to get really upset. You're going to get really sick if you allow yourself to lose it. You know, just accept that this is where you are and figure out what you need to do and continue to move forward, taking the next best step every possible step of the way. And so that's what I did. So I know you got upset. I'm going to tell you when you got upset. How about that?
Oh, I bet you don't know.
Oh.
Because you weren't there.
This will be like a fun marriage pop quiz.
Yeah. No, you weren't there.
Okay. I think you got upset when we found out that one of the twins was sick as well. Flu and strep at this point. So we got both. And then you got upset. You're just looking at me so funny. It's
I'm like, do you know? Do you really know me? I'm like, so far you're correct. What was the exact moment, Jules?
When the silly insurance situation started to show up again,
Oh,
and then
yeah,
all
that
of a
was the
sudden,
second time actually.
and then you got really upset that it was inconvenient that we weren't having one child was not covered. Three children, one just not anyway. So not to bore anybody with those details, but the whole point is, so I felt like that's when you got really upset. You were really mad. You were real, and I felt it for you. And I was like, "Oh, I'm so
It started
sorry."
building, sitting in the doctor's office with Jaya. You know, knowing that, I mean, he's had the high fever, he's got the rash. Like, I know he's got something. He's, you know, most likely got strep. Didn't know about flu. And so they come back and they tell me that he's got flu and strep, and I just felt like a piece of me just like wither down in that moment. Like I wanted to cry. I wanted to just like to shut everything off and just crawl in bed for a minute, because I was like, I don't want to do this again. I don't want to do it again. Like, it was so hard in November 2 months ago when I did this, and I don't want to do it
and
again.
did it for 5 weeks.
Golly, and it just...
We had just come out of all that, and we were just, you know, kind of getting a hold of our routine and our health, and we were actually planning to travel, and all of that was halted. So, you know, but I will say, so you got upset, you felt all that, and you allowed yourself to go in there, and then what happened?
It was as soon as, so after leaving that appointment, then I had to make the run over to find out what was going on with our insurance, and that situation just led me into seeing red.
I was going to say, you were infuriated.
And so when I left that place, I was just infuriated, you're right, and I felt my body starting to take on the crud. You know, I could feel my it was like I let the anger in. I let all the cortisol rush my body, and all of my immune defenses that I built up with my peace that I cultivated was gone. You know, it was just like, I'm done.
So let me ask you a question, because this is fun, because we haven't actually talked about this like in this way. So when you felt that coming in, did you make a decision to not try to calm yourself down, or did you ride the anger wave, or did you try to like bring it down?
I feel like I rode the anger wave for a while. I did not let it define the rest of my day, if that makes sense. Like, I didn't carry it into the next day and the next day and the next day.
You know why?
I carried it long enough, though, for it to actually get a hold of me.
You know why? Yeah, I was going to say, because it took you down.
Yeah.
Because then you showed up back home, and you were
I was
now
sick by that afternoon.
You were now a patient.
Yeah.
Now, when I took your temperature, it was on the way up, and it was you were 100 when you got here, and before you knew it was 101, and now it got you. And
I don't know that I would have gotten sick had I maintained my peace through that. Like, I mean, it's a question of,
well,
like,
the thing, well,
knows,
even
but
at that, you can't even allow yourself to play that card,
that's true. The what if game.
because it's just too many rabbit holes. So accepting what it is, accepting what you were given, accepting this is the new challenge, but also having the human moment, because then you can't even say, oh, I should have done this, because you're taking away from what you did in that moment, right? And it's like, well, that's how it went, so that's how it's supposed to go, right? So it's like, but I felt you on that. I was just like, I don't want to. I don't want to deal with this again, but I guess we're supposed to. And I can tell you that the week before that, we were definitely starting to gear up and work, because at this point it's like, towards the end of January, and we're like ready to.
The jamboree was done. We were ready.
Yeah, we're ready to, we're ready to go and travel and see family, but also we had a certain amount of projects we wanted to accomplish. There was a certain amount of work that we wanted to do. And I think that you and I, being the entrepreneurs that we are, it's a challenge for us to just allow ourselves to enjoy where we are, meaning the moment sometimes, and so that's why we have to talk about it a lot, so we can keep ourselves like, as tuned into that as possible. So accepting what is, that's a big one. And when you don't argue with what is, meaning your kids have the flu, you can argue with that, and now you also have the flu, or you can be susceptible to it or open yourself up to it. Same for me, I was now wounded because I allowed myself to kind of not be so bulletproof, if you will, but I guess that was the other thing of it, is I was really mad because I felt like, what hadn't I done enough of? And it starts to play, those situations sometimes play on your insecurities.
Right.
And they play on your, sore spots.
That was
yeah.
like, you were feeling ashamed for like things that you didn't even understand.
I mean, at the pharmacy, and bless them, they good people, but they say, y'all can't stay well. And I just felt so embarrassed. I felt so embarrassed. And she wasn't trying to be ugly to me, but I sure felt that. I was like, but I have the turmeric and the elderberry, and I also got the Zycam chews.
We got local honey.
And I got all the honey. The honey people can't, the bees can't keep up. The bees can't even keep up. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm trying, and I just, and we speak so good around here, and we eat really well, you know what I mean? And I just felt like, damn, what? So acceptance. So when I decided to quit arguing with reality, like, no, this is not it, this is not happening, and when I decided to go, okay, here we are, what to do, as far as how things are going to go, what can you do that could make this situation be a little bit easier than it was last time, so I just tried to implement those things and stay clear enough to do that. And what I started to realize was that I was able to care for you guys because I made a decision that I was so happy to be able to do that. And so when I used the power of negation and I said, okay, human self, yeah, this sucks, totally understand that, but we can't dwell there.
Yeah.
What are we going to do to uplift you? And all I could do to stay upright, all I could do to just feel like I could make it through the next hour, because I'm talking like we were up in the middle of the night, you too, breaking fevers, in the bathtub, like trying to, keep people alive. Like, no joke, this was like serious. And there are people that are dying of the flu. Like, this was like, it felt like a very fragile situation.
Yeah. I mean, when you got a 1-year-old's fever hitting 104.7, you said, I mean, like, it's scary. And it evokes all those fears of, like,
But it was only there for a moment because we were quick and we knew what to do, and we didn't like freak out and fly off the handle. Like, we knew exactly what to do and we brought it down. And that's what we just kept doing over and over again. So I guess the biggest point that I'm wanting to make clear for myself, so the next time I'm in the situation, I have even more clarity and power, was that I made a choice to lean in to the power of praise. Because for me, I love praise, all the praise. It's that vibration of high gratitude. It's that vibration of feeling connected in a way that makes me feel almost joyful in a really nasty situation. Like, it's crazy how it's like you're praising, so you're giving praise, you're having like almost a party on the inside, when around you it's like chaos, and and it's horrible and scary. And so I decided, all right, thank you God that I am able to take care of them. I'm just so grateful I'm able to take care of them. I'm so grateful that I'm able to cook food. I'm able to clean up. I'm able to disinfect. I'm able to, like, all these little things. Love them. I'm walking around here with a face mask, doing what I got to do because that's what needed to be done. That's what was called of me. And so I showed up to that, and I'm grateful. And I'm not saying, oh, I'm so amazing. I'm just saying that I want to be able to remember that the next time that I'm in a tough situation. So acceptance for what is. Acceptance for what is, no matter how tough or ugly or hard it is.